Is Mormonism Christian? To many that is a question that cannot be readily answered simply because they do not know enough about Mormonism to answer the question. The first encounter for most people when it comes to Mormonism is either with a Mormon missionary or seeing a TV ad or hearing a radio commercial, and by all outward appearances, Mormons seem to act and talk like a Christian should act and talk. Yet, do outward appearances and verbal sound bites necessarily answer the question of whether or not Mormonism itself is Christian? Obviously, the answer is a resounding no. Therefore, the question, is Mormonism Christian, becomes that much more important. It is the question that needs to be answered. For outward appearances do not always substantiate that a thing is necessarily what it is, and persons such as former Mormon President Gordon B. Hinckley wants people to focus on those visible outward appearances rather than on what makes Mormonism what it is from within. He wants to change the question, in other words, and have people determine whether or not Mormons are Christians based on outward appearances, which is humanly impossible, and take the focus off of Mormonism, which can be judged as to its legitimacy by merely appealing to an objective standard. But just what is that objective standard, and how do we go about answering the question? Really, the only way to objectively answer the question is by comparing and contrasting what Mormonism believes and teaches in respect to a few key doctrines that Christians have biblically and historically held down through the centuries. Key doctrines such as the integrity and authority of the Bible, the person of God, the person of Jesus Christ, the person of the Holy Spirit, and the means of salvation. Depending on what Mormonism has to say about each of these key teachings will help to provide an answer to the question of whether or not Mormonism itself is Christian.